Hey y'all, how's it going? Today we are going to be discussing the official trailer for Westworld Season 4. Now, I did discuss the teaser a little while ago when that came out. If you want to check that video out, I've got that in the info card. But otherwise, there is so much to discuss in this Season 4 trailer. And funny enough, I actually wasn't gonna review this. I was like, but this is a request, so I happily obliged, and I'm actually happy that I did take the time to take notes. Like, legitimately, guys, I don't know if you know, like, what kind of research, I don't, if you can see this. This is my iPad. I legitimately take notes when I'm breaking these down. So I do that because I love to kind of pick apart these things. I love to discuss certain parts and aspects. So yeah, before we get started, go ahead, leave a like and let me know what you thought about this trailer. Because yeah, like I said, I was actually kind of impressed. I know a little iffy just because I wasn't feeling season 3, so I'm not sure where they were taking it with season 4. But now that I've dissected everything, I'm kind of like, there's a lot of mysteries going on. Now, the big thing that we actually picked up in this trailer was that we now kind of know what the whole plot of season 4 is going to be. I think we kind of got some of that from the teaser. Definitely this for sure. We know, okay, this is what's going on. These are the big players and blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to start with Evil Charlotte, aka it's Dolores, right? We know it's Dolores, a copy of the OG Dolores, and she made Charlotte a host, copying herself. And so this Charlotte is not redeemed. Somehow she's gone from being a little timid to being full on with Dolores's plan for host domination, host supremacy. And so we see a lot of that coming through in this trailer. So I think this quote in particular is quite interesting, what Charlotte says.
Your kind made a sport out of hunting us. You controlled our every move. And now, I'm going to do the same to you.
That's so disturbing, by the way. But it seems like this is Charlotte's. At least it sounds like she's giving this speech to William, who she's now making a host. It's kind of funny how we go from host, taking a human, making a host out of them, that host taking a human and making a host out of them. And, shows that William, I suppose, or who was the man in black, is going to be her right-hand man in doing whatever she's doing. And then here she also talks about it's time to evolve the species. And this little thing here was kind of like their memory core, basically their brain when you put that into a host. So I'm wondering if she means like, okay, yeah, what does it mean to evolve her species? So I'm like, okay, that either means she's trying to make hosts the top of the food chain, right? The hierarchy, there's humans, there's animals, and there's hosts. So eventually perhaps she's trying to swap the dynamic and make this an AI world or something like that. Also, I could see her, and I'm not sure if this happened in season 2 or season 3, like having all of the hosts actually liberated, but seeing the little core brain unit that they use to put in the hosts, I'm like, could she also be upgrading the hosts to give them free will, right? Just to let them take over. They've got the programming, they've got brains, they've got AI brains, but they don't always necessarily have the free will in the way that Maeve has, or at this rate Dolores and even Bernard. Yeah, let me know if I missed anything. I believe in season 2 there was this big cloud in the sky, like a heaven where their sentience can go and kind of live and roam free. But so I'm like, what if that's not enough for evil Charlotte? What if she legitimately is like, no, the hosts deserve to live in the world and have free will in the world and not just be content to like roaming around in the cloud. So that brings us back to Dolores. Once again, somehow she is back. We saw her. She's got dark hair now. And the big, question is what's going on? Because the last time we saw her, she sacrificed her life to protect the humans from Rabohim. I will never say that correctly, so don't even keep me accountable for that. But she saw that humans, in essence, are kind of like hosts, because whatever this technology was, kind of like Facebook, kind of like everything that we use, it was keeping humans on a loop. It was kind of Black Mirror like okay, we're always going to the store at 5, and they want us to work from 8 to 4, and so you're just kind of on this loop constantly, and she saw it as a form of almost enslavement in the way that the hosts were. So she had that change in character, so now we're seeing what the result of that is. And I do like this parallel to season 1, you know, where she kind of wakes up every day and goes through the same thing, but now we've got a different Dolores. She has a different outlook and perspective on the world. And I'm wondering, what is she seeing right here? Like, why does she see the people all blurry and fuzzy? I wonder what that's all about. But essentially in this opening scene, she says this thing where this is a story about a girl. Every day she wakes up, the more she sees it, nobody else can. There's something wrong with the world, and that's her fault. As she says right there. And obviously it sounds like Dolores is talking about herself, this redeemed version of herself. And I'm just going to assume she knows now that Charlotte is bent on host supremacy. And I mean, clearly this technically is Dolores' fault, right? She created evil Charlotte. It's a spinoff of her. And these two hosts now don't see eye to eye at all, right? One is redeemed and knows that humanity needs to be saved. And the other is like, no, forget about humanity, host supremacy. But the big question is, if I haven't brought this up already, why is Dolores back? And not only that, but who brought her back? So I have a theory about that. But I think it kind of clearly would have to be either Maeve or Caleb. So what I'm thinking is Maeve and or Caleb catch on to Charlotte's plan. Whatever she's doing, she's got the man in black at her side. She's gonna try to have some switch up of some kind. Where there's host supremacy, and essentially they probably do know or realize that Charlotte has the brain core of old G Dolores, so that means Maeve and Caleb are going to have to somehow go and get the memory core of redeemed Dolores, the one that we see here in this trailer, and essentially bring her back into a body in order to defeat Charlotte, because who else would know Dolores better than herself, aka evil Charlotte and Dolores. So mind-boggling already, oh my goodness. So to me, this definitely signals that Dolores and Caleb have to go back to Delos. They have to go back to the park, the underground in the park, and we kind of see this here at like the 155 mark, where Caleb is getting his butt handed to him by this faceless assassin host. But where else would you find that but in the Delos offices, right? And so it leads me to believe that, okay, they have to sneak into these offices, find a host creating machine, find whatever memory core they can to bring back Dolores, and then put her consciousness into that body, which will become the dark-haired Dolores. Then I think another big question we probably all have is, what is going on here with this 1930s kind of 1920s set? I'm assuming it is a new park, or a park technically that we just have not seen yet, right? The lights come on, everybody starts moving, and clearly, you know, this has to be a park that we haven't seen, which I'm really excited to see new theming, see what is going up. And the big question here is, why are Caleb and Maeve going to this park in the first place? There's got to be some information there, like when Maeve went to, was it Shogun World? Yeah, I can't believe I remember that, Shogun World, right? There was someone she had to meet, there was a host she had to meet or had to get information on, so she had to go to the other park, and so that ended up being fruitful for her, I believe. So it seems like whatever's going on, there might be a host in this park where they need to get information from, or there might be a secret something going on. Who knows? Now, I was curious at first because you see they're dressed up here in this scene, and I was like, oh my gosh, that reminds me of the scene from the teaser where they were all dressed up. So what if these two connect? So I went back to the teaser, and around here-ish, we see there's a gramophone, and then what happens next is we see Maeve and Caleb, here they are, dressed up. There's this, they're in the middle of like a concert hall, a stage. And then they lift the needle of the gramophone, and we're led to believe by the editing that this triggers whatever welcome sign this is. So I really thought that this was connected to this 1920s world, but they are wearing different clothing. So I was so upset. I was like, no, I thought it all connected. Yeah, so here you can see Maeve is wearing kind of like a dress that goes here, straps go around her neck. And then in this, she has a dress where the straps go over her shoulders. And not only that, Caleb is wearing a bow tie here, a little more formal. And in this one, he's wearing a tie. So the only thing, like, if these two scenes are connected, perhaps in the teaser, this is a secret passageway to get into the 1920s, 1930s park, and then they just have to change clothes in order to assimilate or fit in. Maybe, maybe not, but it's just a TV theory. So those are the big things that I wanted to point out. Couple miscellaneous things. There was some news that James Marsden is coming back as Teddy, my favorite, my beloved. There is no one greater on this earth than Teddy. And, you know, unfortunately he died, so it's like, what's going on there? And, you know, they always get me. This is why I have to do my research, because I was like, I remember Teddy going to the great beyond, the great AI cloud in the sky. And I was like, oh, wait, he was a host too. I'm sorry, this is so funny. I'm getting all confused, guys. But isn't that the fun of this show, was that you kind of do have to go back and remember, like, okay, what are the twists? Who is the host? Who is a human? So I think that's kind of the fun in all of this. But definitely we did have to throw Teddy to the curb. So I don't know if this means that he's coming back via a kind of reincarnation of himself being rebuilt, or if it means that we're going to a flashback. So we see here, actually, we've got the man in black. Why is he riding a horse? Why is he doing Westworld park type things? You know, why are we going back to this park, and why is he dressed up? So I'm like, are we actually going in real time back to the park, or are they going to be giving us some more flashbacks? You know, they like to play with the timelines, so that would be kind of interesting if there was more to discover from the past versus what's going on right now in real time. And then as well, we can't forget about Bernard. And what I find is interesting is it looks like he's in on it too. Like, he's not going to be sidelined. He's actually a part of this, going to be trying to figure out whatever's going on with Charlotte and her plan, it seems. So I assume he is either told by Maeve and Caleb, or perhaps even Stubbs, you know, the Hemsworth brother. But what I find curious is that in this shot here, he has no hair, kind of like in present day. But if we go here, surprise, surprise, he has hair like we've seen him in like seasons 1 and 2. So again, leads me to believe, hey, what if we're going through some flashbacks or something like that? And then there's just so many other random scenes. Like, what's going on here? There's some desert scenes, and you know, what's going on with this map? Why is this map important? Why is Maeve in the woods? What is she doing? What's going on? There's so much action. So guys, please let me know. There's so much stuff that, you know, I don't really have the time to unpack. So if there's anything else, let me know down in the comments what you thought, or what I missed, or what else crazy is going on. It's really trippy though, and I'm really enjoying all the mysteries that they're throwing at us. Like, on the surface it looks awesome, and then when you start diving deep into it, it's like, oh my gosh, there's a lot. So yeah, let me know what you all liked about this. And I don't know if I'm gonna be reviewing this series. When it comes out, I'll be out of town, unfortunately, so I won't be able to review it on time or do it week by week. I don't know. Let me, if you have any feedback, if I should review this, let me know. But otherwise, I think you all should head over and watch my Squid Game reality show commentary video. That was quite funny to discuss. Netflix is doing some interesting stuff over on their streaming platform. And then once again, just be sure to give this a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more, and hey, if there's some interest, maybe I might be reviewing Westworld season 4 every week. So let me know, guys. Otherwise, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.